getting better at the game. That's too much for me. Guys, we're going to jump into this draft. TILT.EXE versus Maelstrom. Again, Tilt won the coin toss, which means they have the first ban of the day, and it's going to be Revenant. Surprise, surprise. Revenant is going to be banned first. 100% ban rate. Maelstrom.
Hero weapon.
Shane, you think they're going to ban FaZe? You think they're going to ban...
I think so, yeah.
Oh, hey, look. Hey, Shane. Who was it?
Did I call that or what?
I feel like you called that. So Tilt's going to take the first pick here. We've seen teams prioritizing. We normally see teams prioritize their support for the first pick, but it's been a little bit different today. We haven't seen that. We've seen people pick up their junglers or their mid laners. Tilt, it's going to be, they've got 10 seconds here, plus that little bonus time. You can see it counting down. There it is. There's the Decker pick. Best support in the game. They said she's ours. Now it's up to Maelstrom here, Shane.
Bellica Morgesh. That's what if I'm drafting for Maelstrom, I'm like Bellica Morgesh, boys. That's what I want to pick up. Just those heroes are so very strong in their respective roles. Morgesh can go off lane. Okay. Or pick a Countess. That's cool too. I love Countess. I think Countess is another hero that is somewhat of a sleeper hero. She's very difficult. She's especially in a competitive, a coordinated competitive environment. She has no room for error, but I love this. She has the best wave clear in the game, and obviously has unmatched pick potential, especially if she's able to get some farm. Quickly responding is Tilt.EXE, the Kwong into the Twin Blast. Kwong is a hero who's just overall really strong, but we haven't seen much of him, and I think that's just due to the fact that the offlane pool in the game right now is pretty deep, but still, don't discount this Kwong. He still is one of the best heroes in the game at catching people out and initiating fights. Yeah,
I mean, and they picked it fast. They had something in mind, like, we got these two heroes. They're ours. Twin Blast, we're going to take them right off the bat. So Maelstrom going into their extra time here, do we see them pick up a jungler and a support? They don't need to pick up a carry right now because, well, the other team has a carry. So they pick up Narbash. And
I think a good jungler here, Grux. Murdoch, there's their carry.
Murdoch, okay.
So they're going to wait for their jungler to be picked up here. Assuming this is an off-lane Kwong, could be a jungle. We've Kwong can be interchanged between the jungle and the off-lane. These next two picks will be indicative of how their lanes are going to be presenting themselves. There's the Sevarog. So common sense would dictate that Sevarog is going to be their jungler there with an off-lane Kwong. Very strong front line. A lot of control between Subjugate and Tether of the Kwong and Sevarog respectively. They have a tanky front line and a lot of initiation tool, a lot of ability to start fights on their terms, as well as the Decker.
Me leaves them a mid lane here. Gadget Howitzer. They can't pick Howitzer.
Bellica Morgesh. Bellica or Morgesh. I'm surprised I haven't been, to be honest, I'm surprised neither of them have been picked up here yet. They're so very strong. Going to elect to go with the Gadget. So there's a little bit of a wombo combo potential between the Decker and the Gadget now with that pickup.
Yeah, so Maelstrom, they've got one last pick here. They're going to be picking up their jungler. Probably going to be Grux. I mean, if I'm going to pick a jungler, I'm going to pick Grux. Sevarog's not on the board. I'm going to pick a Grux.
Or Rampage. We've only seen him once today, but he still is extraordinarily strong. Thunk into Boulder is not quite as strong as Stasis Bomb into Boulder, but it's still pretty damn strong. Right now, whomever is playing that Countess, I'm definitely a little bit concerned because they have so many ways of dealing with her. With the Speed Gate from Gadget, obviously Colossal Blow and Subjugate from Sevarog, Kwong Tether, Decker Stasis Bomb. This Countess is going to have to be on point, but Countess is a hero who, if she is played well, can do so much work and be such an impactful hero in the game. Very easy to take advantage of her in the early stages of the match, but at the same time, she can flash farm better than almost any other hero. So I expect to see this Countess not have the best early game. That's just part of the hero. And then once she gets level 8 or so, she's able to just instantly clear down waves. Grux, as you called it, though, is going to be the jungler here picked up by Maelstrom.
So there's your teams. We've got some wombo potential coming out of Tilt with the Decker and the Gadget. On top of that, you throw in a Tether and a Subjugate from Sevarog and Kwong. But we do have quite a bit of damage coming out of Maelstrom. They have the ability to lock down a target. Countess, Long Arm of the Law, old school ultimate here. Long Arm of the Law, the Feast Chain. Whoa,
ooh,
dead
that's
hero.
That's a lot of burst.
Boom. Bingo, bango. We've seen it in the past. It's been a while. We're talking about legacy stuff here. So those are your teams, guys. Shane?
Hello.
What do you say we cast a game, brother?
I'm so ready to do this again, guys. This will be the last game of the day, but tomorrow is when we're going to be going into the elimination bracket. That's going to be a lot on the line, and these teams want to make it to that second day and try to make it into the quarterfinals, which will be the last the next broadcast 2 weekends from now. These teams are both grouped up, almost mirroring each other's actions. We're going to have no perk on Countess. Got to make sure we keep an eye because a lot is riding on no perks Countess play. Elder Stover on Grux, Lebanese Kid 1 2 3 4 5 on Narbash. I Eat Zed for brunch on Murdoch, and the Legend of Ephra playing the Howitzer.
We have got Osville on Gadget, Feed and Leave on Twin Blast, Majin Sora on Decker. The Asian is playing Severog, and Sultanator. The Sultanator, Shane, is playing Kwong, which I love Kwong. Offlane Kwong, scary.
The Sultanator.
Sultanator.
That's how you spell
It's not Sultanator. Wow. Dyslexia kicked in. I'm calling him Sultanator from now on. So we saw them. It looked like they were going to be aggressive, Shane. Drew down their wards. They were going to do their things. And then they were like, nah, we'll just back up. We saw a little jungle party over here. I've been hanging around the white camp waiting for an aggressive ward. It didn't happen. So they've backed Shane. They've picked up their starting items. We've got No Perk, who's going to be running a Vampiric Elixir, a Mana Pot, and a Health Pot. I was going to say, is she in the jungle? She is in the jungle. She's just taking the weak side. Yep. I was like, what is going on?
Yeah.
Okay. I got confused for a second.
The jungle count is new meta. Nah, I think that's pretty common there. Yeah, Elder Stover's in a lot of trouble. They're chasing him down. Thunk was used, and it is going to be enough to allow Grux to get away very early on. And now the rest of the team are collapsing as well. No Perk is here, going over to the Decker. And if there's a Shadow Slip or a Thunk, that'll be enough. There's the Shadow Slip, and there's your first blood going over to, I believe it was the Countess that picked up that kill. That's one way to start Countess. Start Countess's early game is to get up first blood. So No Perk already doing better than what we expected, and on the way to having a decent game on a hero who really needs to have a decent early game if they want to have an impact.
Yeah, early to mid. I mean, feed the Countess. That's what I always say. You want to be in trouble late game, just like Countess pick up those early game kills. Yeah. She picks up a kill on the support. While that was happening, Feed and Leaves over here farming, taking some last hits, getting that card power. It's not much when you compare him and I Eat Zed for brunch 7 to 11. So mid lane, they are going to pick up a gank here. Decker being all over this map. They kill Ephra the Legend in the mid lane with that beautiful stun. But Shane, Countess. Talk to me about Countess. In that offlane role, what do you want to see her do?
Early on, just play safe. Get level 5, get level 8. The farm will come your way. That hero, as soon as she gets level 8 as well as level 11, she's going to get farmed. So don't be too greedy. Don't be overzealous with the early stages of the match. Do what you can. Get it where you can. Almost pick up the gold buff there. But I think that's the most important thing out of any Countess early on in the game is patience until you hit level 8, until you hit level 11, and then that's when you're going to get taken out. Yeah, the stasis bomb through the fog wall set up by the Severog, and they get themselves another kill. 3 kills at 3 minutes. We're on course for having a kill-a-minute game, and that's the type of game I know we all love. The Howitzer is under pressure, uses the mine to knock himself at an angle, but the Subjugate is there, and the Gadget Bomb is going to be enough to get yet another kill. So Severog and Decker, they're roaming around, and this has been the trend all day today, Notch, where it's the support and the jungler who are roaming around and picking up kills, and that continues to be the trend. And on the other side of the field, the Narbash was taken out as well. That actually was a 1v2 kill, and he's looking for more. Zed uses the knockback, and is going to be able to get away. If it wasn't for that, he might have been able to pick up a 1v2 kill. And that's, again, Kwong is capable of that sort of stuff in the offlane.
The Sultanator, I'm never going to say it right because I just like the way it sounds. I apologize. But like you said, almost with the 2v2, they pick up the kill. Majin, I don't think Majin has been near his carry. He has not been near Feed and Leave one time. He's rotating. He gives 0 right now. I'm going to help land stuns. We're going to pick up kills. We're going to be aggressive. Elder Stover we're going to rotate
on to Kwong. The damage there, though, it is just that second double pain was just enough damage and explosion of the green buff Legend is sitting there at the low ground, actually knocks the Decker away, but still, as long as they are able to pick up the skill, which they should be able to, Smasher Grab is going to do it. Actually, it's a Legend with the R2000 rocket to pick up themselves 2 kills. So these teams are going blow for blow. Other side of the field, Countess, no perk, has to be careful because the purple buff is on Asian over there on the Sevarog, but he's not going to be moving forward. I'm surprised he didn't. Maybe if he was level 5, subjugating the Colossal Blow, but he's not quite level 5 yet. He's going to go ahead and fall back, pick up some stacks. But yeah, this feed and leave on Twin Blast it's pretty much been a 1v1 situation here. And I really like that call. We've talked almost ad nauseum about how Countess's early game is not much of a threat whatsoever. And they've recognized that. And instead of just sort of having Decker sitting there not doing much, Decker's been roaming around and setting up a lot of kills, 3 at this point, coming up at the 6-minute mark.
So I was going to say, you know, but that puts her at a disadvantage where she's not experienced. She needs to get 5. But I looked at the map, and she is Lebanese, just got 3.
Yep.
And she is almost 2-3. So she's not terribly far behind when it comes to experience. She has been a major impact and helped securing her team picking up these kills. She has died twice, unfortunately, but she's definitely helped her team out more so than Narbash has.
And now rotating over there. Twin Blast already level 5, so the carry. Twin Blast is one of those carries where if you can get him levels very early on, he benefits quite a bit because his early game presence isn't really coming from his auto attacks, but more so from his ability damage from the grenades and the rapid fire as well. So don't discount early game levels on a Twin Blast. It actually can yield quite a bit of damage. The offlane tower was taken out. Sultanator is going to be continuing to maybe try to find a kill on the Zed. If he lands a tether, he might be able to do it, but a Thunk is there, and he is not going to have enough mana. Actually now needs to run away as Murdoch is trying to shoot him from long range with that shots fires passive. But they get the tower, they're able to get away cleanly, and I won't be surprised if we see a swap here, putting Countess into a little bit of a safer position. Perk is level 5, so she has that feast online, and this is when you want to start seeing Countess can be a little bit more aggressive and can position herself in a spot to where she can actually get a decent amount of farm.
So, Shane, 7 minutes into the game, we've got a lot of action happening here. 1 tower is down. Countess has done a good job defending this. Like you said, the rotation is coming. Putting I Eat Zed for brunch next to they
Gadget may be in some trouble here. Smash and grab the knock-up mine. I actually think the Thunk missed because of that. Speed gate is used to try to get her away, but the R2000 rocket was able to secure the kill. A good subjugate from SCM, but unfortunately the R2000 rocket did land for them, and Gadget was picked up yet again. Yeah, these guys are going at each other's throat, and I love it. I will take this. This is my type of Paragon.
Yeah, a lot of action happening here. The I Eat Zed for brunch is going to be closer to the Raptors when they spawn in just a few minutes here. You're going to allow no perk, much safer farm in this lane. Just allow the minions come to you, farm at your tier 1, get that card power, get those levels you need, and then go out and start looking for those ganks. She's already sitting at level 6, sitting at 6 card power. Has she bought? She hasn't even. She backed and picked up her Sage's Ward and threw some cast into it. But for me, Countess, we're looking at about 25 card power, and at level 9 is where we're going to see Countess really start to shine. So give her that early farm. Is really beneficial to this hero. Mid lane here, Ephra. He's picked up 2 kills. He has died twice, but sitting at 13 card power. There's no clear lead yet, but I will say the rotations coming out of Decker is a team that I'm actually excited to see how they rotate into the late game, how they transition. Where do we see them about the 15 to 20 minute mark in this game?
And I think even more indicative of their overall strategy is going to be the rotations of the Countess. Are they going to relegate her to strictly pushing down waves and just farm, or more so just maybe use the Shadow Slip to set a wave very quickly and then show up to a team fight? Both of those strategies, Countess does very, very well, but ultimately it's going to come down to which one are they going to try to put a priority on. Of course, the best situation is being adaptable and being able to switch between those two styles of a pushing Countess versus a pick-off Countess, and one sort of plays into the other. They go hand in hand. If you're able to push down a wave very quickly, it forces out a response from the team, and then you can set up kills in that sort of situation. But so far, the Countess has just been pretty passive, as you mentioned, just securing farm, and I think that's the best possible thing that they need to be doing here. The safe lane over here is a lot of action going down, a lot of shots being fired. Majin is going to get picked off. Zed had that passive online. You can't get away from that. Now the smasher grab on the Twin Blast. Legend used the knockup mine, but actually a little bit of a miscoordination. But there's the long arm of the law, putting the nail in the coffin, getting the kill. 4-man rotation over to the safe lane. They have a wave with them, and they're going to try to take down this tower. ACN now looming across from the fog wall to try to defend this. He is level 5, he has Colossal Blow, and there is no siege minion pushing down the tower. So he might be able to stage a defense here, but he has to be careful. Knockup mine is back up. Smasher grab is there, and to make it rain, that last barrage is not even the last barrage, just one of the barrages is going to be enough. So they pick up yet another kill, and that death is going to be the tower taken out. All the meanwhile, Sultanator, that's what we're going to be calling him. I like that. We're going to call him Sultanator.
I think he needs to change it. I think he needs to change it.
Sultanator is pushing all the meanwhile. He was able to pick up, or that tower was picked up a little while ago. So was definitely a favorable exchange right there, especially for the Murdoch, as he was able to pick up 2 kills in a short amount of time.
Yeah, he picks up the tier 1 tower is going to fall. I just got like bombarded. I apologize. My headset went off. 47 different things happened, Shane. I apologize. Shane, 11 minutes. Raptors are up. Towers are down. We saw the early aggression coming out of Fromagin. He's now being stagnant in this lane. The moment he got stagnant in this lane, we started to see Ephra and I eat Zed for brunch. Or I'm sorry, Ephra started rotating more. Elder Stover has been more of a presence in these fights. And the moment the Decker got stagnant, the flow of this match has changed. It went from very aggressive 6, and 6 minutes later, we're seeing the flow of the map change. Do we want to see Majin start moving around more? Should he be more active like he was in the start? What do you think they have to do?
Both of these supports are on the cusp of hitting level 5. I think maybe that's why they wanted to make sure that they aren't under-leveled. You sort of hinted at it a little bit earlier. I'd imagine that was the case, is that they wanted to make sure Decker hit level 5. I won't be surprised once Majin hits level 5 that we start to see a switch into that rotation shell. Stasis is going to hit the Colossal Blow out of the tower, and now they're up against the wall. The Soul Siphon is going to get the kill, and one more swing of that big hammer of Severog. Oh, just like that, the carry and the support player go down. Elder Stove is trying to do what he can to maybe get some sort of reprisal, but it's not going to happen. They're going to get away, and now Legend is coming over here to make it rain. If he uses that landmine effectively, he could knock someone into it. The R2000 rocket, 1 or 2 auto attacks might be the death of Severog. He's trying to charge away. He's actually maybe about re-engaging, thinking about it, and all of a sudden, no! They engage once again, feed and leave. Not really living up to his name. It's more like kill and stay is what he's been doing so far in this fight, and they pick off Howitzer after what looked like to be a flank from him that was going to guarantee at least 1 kill. They come up short and get another kill over to the Twin Blast. So very well executed by the blue team right there.
Yeah, I mentioned one thing. Hey, look at these guys. They were doing bad when they were just being stagnant, and then they pick up 3 kills pretty quickly. Back and forth here. I mean, we're at 7 kills apiece on each side, 7 deaths on each side, so it's pretty even. Gadget has picked up a early teleblink. A very early teleblink coming out from Gadget here. What support?
Sultanator's in trouble. He's going to get isolated and taken out. They were thinking about engaging, but they actually were able to just cut off Kwong and pick up a kill on him. Raptors, you can tell Stove on comms is like, guys, the Raptors hold up, as now they are starting to fall back to the Raptors, not having to worry about Kwong and that Fury of the Heavens, or just Verb of the Heavens being used right there, and they're rotating around. This is a 5v4 power play, but the Raptors this early on do a significant amount of damage, and that can turn what appears to be favorable engagement against you because of how much damage they're able to dish out.
Yeah.
Imagine is level 5, Containment Fence is online. If they get caught out, this could be devastating for them, especially with the Tesla Dome, depending on how many get caught in there. Smasher Grab hits the Decker, and only the Decker. Tesla Dome being used, and barely able to get away is the Grux. Severog was in the front line trying to set something up, but this was good for them. They peeled away from the Raptors, recognizing they didn't want to take a fight against the Raptors. They gave the Severog a false sense of confidence to go in, and were able to re-engage and pick him off, and now they're going to continue with that staggered death. Look for a team fight here. The Raptors are no longer the big point of contention. It's more so trying to find more kills. Countess had to go out to the other side of the lane. They actually almost lost their tier 2 tower, but still, they've got themselves a good foothold. They're getting themselves some more kills. And even though they didn't get the Raptors, they still came out of that with a good engagement.
So I was just going to say, we haven't mentioned Countess hardly at all, but that's not necessarily a bad thing 15 minutes into the game. Countess is not being killed. Yes, we haven't seen her in many of the team engagements, but she's farming. She's giving herself that card power. She's giving herself that lead. She's at level 9. She's got 20 card power. She just picked up and maxed out 1 Shadow Scroll, just bought a second Shadow Scroll and threw a point into it. I would have liked just to see her steal the Vampiric, sell the Vampiric Elixir and the Health Potion and max out that second Shadow Scroll. Since Blade Siphon, she's starting to get pretty significant heals with it. Maybe keep the Mana Pot because we know how mana-hungry Countess is early. But at least max out that second Shadow Scroll by selling Vampiric and Health.
Yeah, I mean, Countess is only 1-0-2, but yeah, her presence has been much more so pushing down waves and also defending pushes as well. The Raptors continue to stand here. Neither of these teams feeling confident enough to go in. As far as the carry farm goes, it's I Eat Zed for Brunch at 23 to Feed and Leave at 25. And that's to be expected with how Feed and Leave has been playing, especially with that engagement where they were able to come out ahead in a situation that didn't look very good for them. They were able to turn a team fight around. The offlane tower is still alive 16.5 minutes in, something you don't see very often, but I think that's just the testament and symbolic of how this game has now been going. They should be able to pick it up here with a concerted push. Elder Stove is there to try to defend it once again. He's going to charge in. Smasher grab. Only hits the Sevarog. Almost hit Feed and Leave, and that's going to enable him to sit in the backline, dish out a lot of damage. Containment Fence being forced to use more defensively than anything else. If there's any sort of follow-up, the Crash Bang Boom very quickly interrupted, and Brooks and Narbash are in a lot of trouble, but Feed and Leave overextends. He saw the 2 low health bars and wasn't able to get much going, and there comes No Perk, showing up to the fight for the first time in this game, and goes in beautifully timed, found someone isolated outside of a fight, and was able to pick up a kill. 3 go down, and that was a very close team fight for them, but they were able to narrowly come out of that, and I think that was just Countess rotation was very integral in the fight going the way.
So Countess showed up initially at the fight. She had 2 Shadow Slips that actually missed her target. They both went on wards. Majin was running around the minions, or not wards, I'm sorry, minions. Majin was running around the minions to make sure that the Shadow Slip wouldn't target, and both times Shadow Slip missed. Majin continued, almost got away. Subjugate landed onto No Perk, but No Perk was very persistent, Shane, just waiting. Come in range, and I'm going to feast and Blade Siphon, and that's exactly what happened.
Sultanator's going in. The Raptors have gotten I Eat Zed for so very low. Is he going to be able to stay alive? Like, they're just going in there. They want to kill the Murdoch. Sultanator has got taken out. I don't think this is going to be a good exchange, though. Sure, you killed the Murdoch, but you're going to give up 2 more kills. Maybe some more.
Could be 3.
Isn't careful. The knock-up mine or a smash and grab. He's going to be able to get away still. I mean, the Raptors went over to the Murdoch. Oh, and the Thunk. Stasis Gem is going to keep Stove off of Twin Blast for now, but there's the Smash and Grab. He's been waiting and waiting for the right moment. R2000 Rocket's going to be the big burst damage to get the kill on the Twin Blast, and they continue to take fights, what appear to be favorable fights for them. TILT.EXE, but Maelstrom are just able to continue to barely stabilize in these fights and are just by just small margins coming out ahead of this fight.
Yeah, they're going to pick up the 3 kills. They're going to pick up another tower here. Raptors did go to the side of IE Zed for Brunch. He did die in that exchange, but what comes out of that is so much better. Yes, he died, but they picked up 3 kills. They got all 3 Raptors. Another Tier 1 tower is down, opening up the map control. They do lose a Tier 1 tower because Kwong has done such a good job at setting this lane. And No Perk is now starting to make herself more of a presence in engagements on this Countess. So make sure you're setting those lanes, guys. Make sure when a team fight happens, you don't have to back off. Or if an engagement happens, you don't lose something big, like a Tier 2 tower, 19 minutes into the game, because it's been uncontested. And Raptors are just set in their favor. So kind of a misplay from them there, but they do get kills on a Tier 1 tower. Ephra continued to be aggressive. He does land the mine, but Gadget is going to be able to escape.
Orb Prime, it's around 20 minutes, and I won't be surprised if one team takes a decisive engagement over the other. Orb Prime is going to be favored over the Raptors. Raptors aren't online right now, but we're starting to hit that point where the damage dealers are starting to dish it out to where they can just sort of 2 or 3 man the Orb Prime. Zed was going for the gold buff, wasn't expecting a team to show up. Containment Fence has been used. I think right now Lebanese was been doing a decent job at body blocking, but finally he's able to sneak a bullet around Narbash and pick up the kill, and now they're looking for Narbash as well. Subjugate's not going to land, but that's okay. Fiendly was still going to be able to pick up the kill. That was, I mean, that was a pretty greedy gold buff to just go for that gold buff without much vision as to what's going on. And quick trigger finger on Magin to get the containment fence on the two of them and get 2 very quick kills on the very high priority targets. A continued engagement over here on the weak side of the jungle. On the left side of the minimap here, we do see NoPerk is rotating in here. Is going to use the Dark Tide, is barely going to miss. Still has Shadow Slip and Feast online and is level 11. So she has her 2 main damage dealing abilities maxed out. And that's when you see all the damage start coming out from her. Does have a stab link as well. So not only does she have the Shadow Slip as a means to get in and out of a fight, but now has increased mobility with the stab link.
And with that early Stasis Gem, her target is Decker. Stasis Gem online for Twin Blast means if she goes into Feast, he can just negate that entire ultimate. He can negate a Dark Tide if he needs to. So her target right now is going to be Decker, and trying to get Decker blown up as quickly as she can so the rest of the team can focus on Feed and Leave on the Twin Blast. I don't think we're going to see much use of her abilities on Kwong or Sevarog, just because Countess doesn't really do great against big frontline tanky type heroes. She's about blowing up those squishies. Your gadget.
Oh, Zed's in a lot of trouble. He's going to get subjugated. The Colossal Blow is going to get rid of any hope of him falling underneath this tower. His team was was about to arrive, so the Colossal Blow, actually, if that wasn't there, could have been the escape of Zed, but they pick up yet another kill over onto Zed. He has 4 deaths, and I feel like 2 of those deaths have been in very short order as they just continue to rotate. Zed died earlier with the gold buff, and then just now, so he's back off the field, and still this off-lane tower stands at 22 minutes. It might be going down here, though. Yeah, they're finally going to give it up, and this off-lane tower is going to fall. Raptor is going to be spawning here relatively soon. I won't be surprised if we see them falling back to try to pick those up right as they spawn.
Lebanese Kid Shane, there's a total of 15 kills, and he's got 14 assists.
That's my boy. That's a Narbash right there.
Basically every single engagement on the map, helping his team secure kills, making sure he's applying the heals, crash, bang, booming away, and his team is cleaning up. That's a damn good support play right there when you're at all of those engagements.
Raptor spawning here. There's decent ward vision for both of these teams. We do see some Lebanese is now looking to de-ward as they want to maintain control over that. Gold buff's about to spawn at 23 minutes with Zed in decent position to pick that up if he moves himself a little bit far forward. Sultanator is going mostly a tank build, which is pretty common on Kwong. We do, I think, more commonly see maybe some adamant edges, some damage, and then into tankiness, but instead he's electing just to go full tank, which I still think is a very legitimate build on him. He's able to just be a nuisance, get into the back line, and obviously the biggest thing you want to see out of him is the tether into the Fury of the Heavens. Big AoE damage, and you know what they take when that ultimate goes down notch. Everyone knows what they take. Goes without saying.
Everybody knows what they take. The hot dog water.
Yep.
No perk.
You're gonna have to explain that. No one has.
I'm not. I'm leaving it. Just that hot dog water. Okay. Nobody's gonna. Thank God. Unless you're at E3. No perk. Just farming it up. Ephra is gonna go ahead and make it rain on top of these Raptors to help I eat Zed for brunch. Pick up these Raptors quickly. And this may be a bad play here, Shane.
Years they're going in. Zed is just sitting there in the Tesla Dome. The Wombo combo. They finally were able to get it going, and the 3-man knockup from Lebanese, but might not be enough. The Song of His People is trying to do what it can, but unfortunately, Wombo combo was too strong. Great subjugate right there at evasion. If he's able to use a Colossal Blower, a little bit more damage. Is there a Siphon? Oh, he's so very low, and he's not yet able to pick up the kill. Smash and grab. He gets taken out right before the smash or grab goes down, and that's 4 people down on the side of Maelstrom. This has been a back-and-forth game, 16 to 15 kills, and it's really not decided as to who is going to be able to pick up the first
Love
here.
This
but
play
with
right
this
here.
Prime card, yeah, so do I. It's perfect timing. And sure, the gadget's not going to be there. I actually think the gadget's going to spawn right as they take the Orb Prime. That's the ideal situation here.
Are they going to be able to get it uncontested? We're starting to see some zoning. No perk is here. I don't know if she has the mana. Feed and Leave. Does he have Lifesteal online already?
Oh, no perk. Get Sevarog. So able to pick up a kill and is able to get the lifesteal out of it. So sure, she wasn't able to pick up the Orb Prime there, but at least was able to take down Sevarog. So they're going to have about 45 seconds of about 40 seconds where it's a 5v4 situation, and that's gonna be really important to mitigate this Prime card push that's inevitably going to be coming here. But still, Sevarog is going to be on the field, and they're going to have about a minute to a minute and a half with a true 5v5 situation. If I'm then, I'm falling back and I'm making sure we set these waves out before we make a strong concerted push.
So no perk is 3-0-3, 37 card power. She's farming effectively. She's picking up kills, but she's not in any team engagements. We're at a point right now at 25 minutes in the match where you want to see her in these fights. Set a lane and then rotate off and help your team in a fight. And that's just not what we're seeing right now. So she definitely needs to start engaging a little bit more, being at these in fights, because it's a 4v5 situation. They're going to lose those engagements. She can come in and pick up a kill, but Orb Prime was taken. If she was at this fight, it may have been a totally different scenario.
Agreed. We said how that balance of Countess of are you pushing or are you being in a team fight? It's sort of reminiscent of are you Sevarog, are you getting stacks or are you team fighting? It's the same sort of role as Countess. You want to make sure you actually aren't putting too much time and priority into one or the other, or that situation is what's going to be happening here. Sevarog is back from the crypt, and the tier 2 tower is under siege. Just feed and leave for the time being, but taking a look at the positioning, maybe a flank coming out from Lebanese Kid. They don't have a ward on that weak side of the jungle, so they could swoop around and maybe collapse onto them. There's no creep under there, and it's just Sevarog tanking them. Narbash not yet deciding to go in. They're going to forfeit this tier 2 tower, it appears like, and stage their defense at what is inevitably going to be a mid lane inhibitor push. It took them a while to take down that tier 2, but they finally are able to do so. Still should be enough time on this Prime card for them to pick it up, as 4 of the 5 team members have it. Subject Gate doesn't hit. They're looking for Zed, but with Make It Rain online. Oh, look at Gadget going in the Tesla Dome. It goes in very aggressive with the containment fence. The Tesla Dome was a little bit too late, and Gadget had to blink in order to get it, but it was not in time. And they're trying to stage a defense here. Sevarog doesn't get taken out, but takes Narbash down with him. Stasis Gem used on Legend to try to keep himself alive, but that's going to isolate him in a bad spot, and they're going to be able to just wait for that to go down. Now Zed's going to try to get a kill, but unfortunately not enough, and this is looking like bad times here. Feed and Leave is at plenty of HP. The Prime card regen is going to be kicking. I believe the Prime card actually did just fall off, but the damage has been done. The only person alive right now is the Countess, and she's not going to be able to do much at all. This is going to be the death of the mid inhibitor, and that's going to be the first real substantial lead in this game, 27 minutes in.
She's got to be careful here. They want her. They want her. They're not going to be able to get the kill there. No perk using that Shadow Slip, negating the damage coming out of this Sticky Bomb. But she's the only one. It's her and Narbash, Shane. Are they going to be able to defend this tower?
Countess has enough wave clear to they might be able to do it. She's juking and dodging. Was able to dodge the grenade spam. And the tower is going to, for now, be defended. The inhibitor, rather, is going to be defended. They're going to run away, though. They're going to be happy with that. They were able to get the inhibitor, get a handful of kills, and taking a look at the numbers in the aftermath, 44 points for Twin Blast to the 41 of Murdoch. So it's not a big lead. Economically, it's not the biggest lead in the world, but more so it's the objectives that are really in their favor here.
I'm looking to see how No Perk's doing on farm. 42 card power right behind. I mean, she's got the kill potential, Shane. She's at 42 card power. She's got 13, level 13. She's got the potential to go in and just blow up a target. We've got 3 stasis gems out. She's got to be very selective. Majin, Feed and Leave, and Oz all have stasis gems on, so she has to be very selective here. But we're just not seeing much out of this Countess. It's a 4v5 in most of these engagements. We really need to see a little bit more. I think it's not like they're losing. You know what I mean? Yes, a tier 1 inhibitor is not necessarily a death sentence. They don't want to get picked out here. Ephra is going to blink away. That stasis bomb did miss, because if it would have landed, it would have been GG. But they have to be more selective in these engagements. We need to see more presence out of this Countess. And they got to start pushing some objectives.
It's going to be difficult for them. The thing about Countess, though, is she can just go from being a hero who felt like she hasn't done anything, and all of a sudden she shows up and just, with one Dark Tide hitting 2-3 people into a feast, all of a sudden can just turn a team fight around. The Subjugate, fast reaction time there by Legend to dodge that Subjugate there. Even if it did land, they probably would have been okay. There still is a single lone Raptor alive. Don't forget, guys, the Raptors don't respawn until all 3 have been taken. So right now, that is pretty much just a dead weight objective until one of the teams decides to go at it. It's not really worth it to throw your team into a Raptor camp with only 1 Raptor when you don't have some sort of power play or advantage onto your team. And another reason I think no perk has been maybe not been as much of a presence as we would like to see this game is that Saltnator has just done a really good job at setting the wave. He's done it consistently time and time again, where he just sets the wave, shows up to a team fight, and Countess has been on the back foot the entire time in terms of having wave control and manipulating that wave to their favor. Mid lane, Isian's going to get knocked up here. He's so tanky at this point, though. He has the Thermal Bond, he has the Temperate Plate, as well as an Amulet of the Veteran. This Sevarog is at 2,400 health. He's at decent stacks as well, on his way to hitting his final form. And Sevarog, at this point, he's the tankiest hero in the game, especially when he has been stacking decently, and Asian has been doing that so far. Has been a really big impact in this game, and he's going to be so difficult to take down.
So purple buff online, Decker is on Aphra here. The flank's coming. Are they going to try to get the skill? Fence
actually only catches out the Grux. I think they were looking for the Howitzer. He's going to use the Make It Rain and dodge the Colossal Blow. A lot of ultimates being used and not really any of them connecting. Stasis Gem used. The Crash Bang Boom, and he's going to get blown up. I think that Stasis Gem was more of a delay than Neville than anything else, but the 4-man Subjugate coming out, the 3-man Stasis Gem as well, but, I mean, the Stasis Bomb. But the Honor of the Pure as well as the Quenching skills, that could have been a tide turner for them. Now Stove is going to charge forward and try to turn this fight around. The Honor of the Pure has been used for ACN. He's going to be able to go, or rather for Majin, and they're going to be able to go away. Despite a very large engagement over there on the weak side of the jungle, only 1 person was taken out in the gadget. Countess, all the meanwhile, has had to deal with this Kwang. And another big strength of this tanky Kwang build is he can just push, push, and push. He's so hard to take down with the lifesteal. No perk really hasn't been able to deal with it. In fact, Countess is the one on the back foot against this 1v1 matchup on Kwang. And that's not something you would really expect to see. Otherwise, that team fight, sure, they picked up the gadget kill, but they're really not going to be able to do much with it.
Shane, I got to take a second here and give props to Aphra. Aphra was going to fall right into the gadget Tesla Dome, used his Stasis Gem in the air to negate that damage, so he didn't take any damage from Tesla Dome. It was a really, really classy.
I did not see that. That's awesome.
It was so good. I heard it go off, and I was like, "Where's he at? He's not on the ground." And he was just a hub above the Tesla Dome. It was pretty fantastic. Got to give him props for that.
Stasis Gem in the air, man. As if Howitzer was hard enough to kill.
Right.
Now he can Stasis Gem mid-flight and keep himself afloat for quite a period of time. Other than the mid inhibitor here, I'm surprised that they haven't done much more in terms of having to more control over the objectives. Orb Prime is now getting dewarded here by Gadget. Zed finally deciding to pick up that lone Raptor here, as he can just solo it at this point. Has that brand of the Iron Eater online to give him the lifesteal, so you can just clean that up without worrying about getting ganked or anything like that. But I think it's all going to come down to the next Orb Prime as to who is going to be able to ultimately win this game and keep themselves moving on into Sunday. Obviously, very much so, blue team has a significant advantage with the mid inhibitor, but this game has been neck and neck for quite some time, and this is still anyone's game at this point.
Yeah, at 34 minutes into the game, like you said, it's going to be Orb Prime. Who finds a pick? I mean, watch Sevarog and Decker have just kind of been stationed around this area. They've been dewarding. They're looking for no perk. They're looking for Grux. They're trying to find that to give themselves that 4v5 advantage. IEZ for Brunch just picked up that Raptor. Leaving one Raptor up like that, Shane, for as long as it's been up, really just kind of negates the purpose of those Raptors. That's card power that they're missing out on. That could have put him at 60 by now because it was 1 or 2 pet Raptor packs that they completely missed. So making sure they have those all cleared up quickly before a team fight happens so you can get those 4 back online is important. Look at the posturing, though. They're just here. They just won it. They know how important this objective is right now.
Sultanator is, again, just setting the waves, and as long as he's able to get back to that fight in time, they can just continue to have map control. Mid lane, Magians might be caught out, is forced to use the containment fence, has caught 2, but the Tesla Dome has been used instead over on the Gadget as Perk finally shows up. That's what we were waiting for, and they get the pick onto Gadget. If they continue to keep this momentum and keep them get another pick off, that would be great, but Stove was knocked up by the Colossal Blow. He's tanking the tower. Quenching Scales is going to keep him alive for now. He's so very low, and they're not going to be able to finish him off. He's going to be able to escape through the fog wall. The Make It Rain is going to force them to disengage off of this fight. So they do get the kill. They're able to stabilize and get away, either look for a re-engagement or go spend heal and maybe try to get the Orb Prime. They don't have much time, though, as Gadget is spawning back in 30 seconds. But still, finally, Countess shows up. We've been waiting for it, and is a big impact right here. I really want to see them get something going here. They're falling back to their waves, but instead, look at this call. Look at this Orb Prime call. They recognize that Zed's on the other side of the map, and they know about it. Perk has spotted it out. They know what's going on, but they don't have their Murdoch. It's only Long Arm of the Law is going to contribute here. The Orb Prime down to about 20% HP. This is going to be very close. Whoever's able to get this Orb Prime might just be able to outright get the F run. Not able to get it. Perk goes in, and he gets it.
Look at Perk through the wall.
Oh, through the wall as well. That was impressive from him. Beautifully done, but can they take the engagement? I don't know. They're falling apart right here. They're bursting at the seams. It was a beautiful play, but the follow-up might have forced the team to overextend a little bit here. Stasis Gym in the air once again from Legend, but Feed and Leave is going to rapid fire and pick it and pop off. And 3 go down. Again, that was a beautiful play right there coming out. It essentially was a 4v5 situation, but they recognized that they spread themselves, their opponents spread themselves thin, and that fluid decision-making up the gut into mid lane. They're going to try to end this game right here, right now. It's just Zed and Perk. But Perk has really good wave clear, and don't forget they have the Prime card online as well. So they do have a hope at defending this. It all comes down to, can they clear this out, and can they get a pick off? Slatinator is low, but he is very tanky. Tesla Dome being used. They're just trying to focus fire him down. Countess is trying to do what he can, but he's going on Kwong. That's not the target you want. Feed and Leave needs to be the target. The core down to 25%. I think they're going to be able to do it. Crush Big Move is here. They're very, very low, but the core is not going to be taken down quite yet. They're knocked into the air, and there it is. There's the GG. Barely able to win the game right there. Perk made a big play stealing the Orb Prime with the Dark Tide through the wall, but it wasn't enough.
Wasn't enough.
They were able to get it, take the team fight, and ultimately take the game.
Perk with the play. I mean, he stole the Orb Prime, but like you said, Shane, they were just spread too thin. There wasn't enough coordination. Good steal, but great push down the mid to take that game. I gotta admit, Shane, the one thing that really has me excited about these games is the sound of Stasis Gem when it goes off, because I always look for who has it. We're just like, whoa! Are they gonna live?
You want to know a little secret? You want a little secret?
Tell me.
I've been casting with the audio off because of that.
Have you really?
It's too distracting.
I love it. I
literally have had no game audio all day.
Oh my gosh, you're missing out. It just adds so much.
That's my secret. It keeps me concentrated.
Now you've learned. Guys, GG for both of these teams. That was a really fun match to cast, Shane. It was back and forth at any moment in time. We've seen a couple one-sided matches, but that was either team's match. So GG. Shane, buddy.
Hey.
That's day one.
That is. Day two is going to be a very pivotal day. It's going to be the single elimination bracket, deducing down to the top 8 teams. We've gone from 120 some odd teams tomorrow down to 8. So that's what it's going to boil down to. Again, we expect to see certain teams there. Oxygen, Reborn, Finesse, Bronze Army, I think, is definitely one of the underdogs, but certainly favored to at least move on potentially into the top 8. Obviously, Arctic Wolves. Team Hydra, another team, which we weren't able to cast today, but I know the other stream, Geronimo, Jack, and Gems were able to cast as well. They were the ones who pulled out that crunch mid-Muriel and just were able to do a lot of work with it as well. Arctic Wolves, they don't have that same roster as they used to have, but it still has very talented players on it, like Fatal Barrage and a very old competitive player now coming back to the scene in Talrino. I think they've had some decent games as well, but it's all going to come down to tomorrow, and I'm really looking forward to it. I think we're going to see some very, very high-quality matches tomorrow.
Yes, we will, guys. Remember, tomorrow, 2 o'clock, we will be live on this channel, Paragon Competitive League. These teams are playing for a chance to fly out to Epic Games and play for $15,000. Winning team of our event will also win $2,500 as well. Cha-ching. Thank you to everybody watching. Thank you to everybody supporting. Thank you to all of our admins, Geronimo, Jack, and Gems for casting over on PCL2. Thank you to Pythian for the wonderful production, as always. Shane,
hey.
thank you for joining me today. It's been a lot of fun. I hope you've enjoyed yourself. Guys, that's it for today. We'll be back tomorrow at 2 o'clock with more PCL. I hope you enjoyed yourself. We'll see you tomorrow.